Good morning. When I'm recording this, I don't know what time it is that you're watching this, so good afternoon, good evening, and good night as well. My business is called AlliRambles Bags. So bags are a pretty big focus most of the time, but there are also going to be times where I come to you and just kind of focus on the rambling part. I named it that because I do that. In the words of Magnus Burnsides, I do that. I ramble a lot. Once I get started talking, it's kind of hard to get me to stop, which plenty of people will vouch for that being true. I'd like to think that in like a dinner party atmosphere, that's a charming quality, but I could be really very wrong. That could just be delusions of grandeur. I want to talk to you today about something really personal, which, sidebar, is also something you should know about me. I am an oversharer, which, again, I think is pretty charming most of the time until it's, like, really not. And someday that is not today, I will tell the line story, and it'll be great. Those of you who know that story are already laughing, and it makes me happy to know that, but someday that's not today. Maybe on a tipsy video, but which there will be a lot. But today I want to talk to you about having kids, not the mechanics of it. I trust you all know how to Google that process. Don't do that. I don't advise that you do that, but more about like the choices we make, because my husband and I, we have one kid. We have a beautiful, smart, thoughtful, compassionate, funny, engaging, wonderful child. He's amazing. He's just absolute gift. And I'm done. One and done is the phrase. And oh boy, is it true. And my husband and I agree. That's not something of any contention. We are on the same page about that. One and done. And for a long time, we didn't even really have to talk about that. My son has started to get a little more curious about these things. He came up one day, a few months ago, put his hand on my little soft tummy and said, "Mommy, is there a baby in there?" I said, "No, honey, that's just beer and tacos." And he said, "Okay." And he walked away. But, you know, those of us that have the little soft belly, you know that sometimes you just kind of rest your hand there. You can't see, but I'm doing it now because of the weird non-ladylike position I'm sitting in, as is my wont. But I'll have my hand resting there, and so sometimes he'll come over and he'll put his hand on my hand and kind of look at me, and I'm like, don't do it, and he'll be like, "Mommy, is there a baby?" Nope, it's just beer and tacos like the last time you asked. And he's like, "Okay." And one day he did this. I was sitting there, he came, put his hand on my tummy, and he looked up at me, and I was like, he's just gonna keep doing this. He looked at me and he goes, "I don't want there to be a baby in your tummy." And I said, "Good news. Me either. We agree. Up top. Yes." Whew. That was so much easier. I thought that conversation was going to be tough, but same page. Yes. Winning. That didn't last. I truly believe that it's not a loneliness issue or a boredom issue. I truly believe that this is he's been absorbing lots of media lately with sibling stories. You know, he watches Boss Baby a lot, which kind of the whole plot is a kid being like, "Oh no, a baby's horrible, I don't want a baby." And by the end of it, he's like, "What would I do without the baby?" You know, so I get that would be on his mind. However problematic that is. And he's been asking more and more lately and kind of being sad about it. And yesterday he was being real quiet, and I was like, "What's wrong, baby?" And he was like, "I don't want to say." And he kind of went into his room and waved me in there and shut the door behind me. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is my year-end review for motherhood." And he sat on his bed and he looked me in the eye and he said, "I want a baby sister." And my heart just broke, y'all. I won't go into the long rigmarole about it. I will just simply say that I've never been more certain of a thing than I am that I'm not having any more kids. I won't go into it now. Maybe someday you don't want me to, because I will talk for I'll talk for so long and my phone machine will just literally break. It literally just broke. So I'm going to hold it for the rest of this. And then buy a new one of those, I guess. But yeah, that was a squirrel, and it really distracted me. What was I even saying? Oh, yep. So no more kids for me. And this is awkward now. How do I... Yep. This is real talk, people. This is as real as it gets. Not doing anymore. And he just keeps asking and being sad about it. And I finally had to be like, honey, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And I'm sorry that makes you sad, but it's not. And it makes mommy sad every time you ask. It makes mommy sad to have the conversation. So can we not talk about it anymore? It's not going to happen. Talking about it won't change that. Let's just not talk about it. And I don't think that's going to work. I think he's going to keep on talking about it. And I don't really know how to handle that. Because I told him, I said, Mommy can't. Mommy can't do that. And I know some people probably won't agree with my word choice. Because a lot of times when a woman says she can't have a baby, she means physically. She means, I want to, I'm trying, I'm unable. That is true for a lot of people. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I can't. Can't do it. My body can. I can't. Mentally, emotionally, can't. Won't go into it. Can't. I don't know how to explain that to a kid. I'm pretty open with him, sometimes more so than his father appreciates. But that's not a thing I need to go into with a 6-year-old. Whether it was physical or otherwise. That's just... Sometimes, we all reach a point when we grow up where we realize that because I said so is a perfectly valid answer. As a kid, it's like the worst thing you can hear, but as an adult, it's like, no, really? Sometimes it's because I said so. And sidebar, another thing you should know about me, sometimes I talk for a long time and don't have a point because I realize I don't even really know where I'm going with this other than just to talk about it. I think it's something... It's a thing that can be stigmatized, and I think it shouldn't be. Let's just talk about it. So this is just me talking about that struggle, the choice that we have made as a family, and the difficulty of explaining that to a kid who wants a sibling, or thinks he does. In a week he'll be over it, hopefully. But I tell you one thing, much more likely we're going to be hopping on that pet train. Because it's like, well, you can't have a baby sister, but look at Kitty! And so that's probably going to happen within the year. So yeah, I didn't even really have anywhere I was going with this, which isn't even surprising to me. But it does make it hard to kind of stop the video because I don't know. I wasn't like working toward a conclusion, just sharing. I guess I would love to hear some feedback, how other parents have handled these conversations, or I realize asking for feedback on this is probably real dangerous, because I bet there's going to be a bunch that's not kind, but that's life, I guess. We're all allowed to disagree about things. That's just life. So that's my slice of life today. Just kind of sitting in this truth and thinking about it and marinating, if you will. That's all I got.